The Black Belt shines in the 58th annual Jubilee. Residents talk about rebuilding from the January 12th tornado, and Demopolis is set to get a new healthcare high school. That and more in this week's edition of the Black Belt Newscast, broadcast from the heart of the Black Belt. I'm Cindy Fisher, publisher.
And I'm Todd Prater, staff writer. Here's this week's top stories.
Selma was the national spotlight during the 58th annual Selma Bridge Crossing Jubilee. With the nation's best-known civil rights site over his shoulder, President Joe Biden told the crowd the nation has gone backward on the voting rights protesters had fought for on Bloody Sunday in 1965. He also touched on tornado recovery, vowing to stick by Selma with federal funds to help the city rebuild. He says that he has approved the federal government paying 100% reimbursement for the tornado cleanup rather than the typical 75%. Biden also listed improvements his administration has brought to the Black Belt region, including $60 million from the infrastructure bill, new water lines, and high-speed internet.
Lowndes County held its first Bloody Sunday Jubilee Celebration Fest in the parking lot of the Southern Star Casino in Whitehall, March 4th. They did this to bring attention to the role that their county played in the civil rights movement. Lowndes County Area Chamber of Commerce Ozell Hubert noted that the Selma to Montgomery March had to go right through Lowndes County to get to Montgomery, and they're proud of their place in the civil rights history. It was a small crowd to start with this year, but Hubert hopes for a much larger crowd and more participants in years to come. The slogan was Selma to Montgomery through Lowndes County.
That makes sense.
Perfect sense. That's the only way to get there.
We'll see how it goes next year. As former residents returned to Selma for Bridge Crossing Jubilee events last weekend, they couldn't help but notice the devastation all around their hometown from the tornado. While it was unsettling for them, many saw it as an opportunity for the city to rebuild better. Charles Malden, one of the foot soldiers of 1965, remembers dilapidated homes when he was growing up and says this is a chance for a rebirth.
Many of those houses, young people like myself that grew up with me 65 years ago, lived in those very old, dilapidated, raggedy houses. So in the positive way of looking at that is, in fact, the tornadoes did what should have been done by the urban renewal. And so it's really cleared those spaces up to bring about a renewal, and that's what I'm hoping for.
Foot soldier and living legend Annie Pearl Avery told me an incredible story about being at her house when it was hit by the January 12th tornado.
And all of a sudden, the electricity went out, glass was flying everywhere, all the windows and stuff, and it's quite a bit of damage there. And what happened is, when everything calmed down, I still got access to a radio because my radio is battery operated. I had one plugging, but as soon as the power went out, that went off. But I'm able to hear what's going on. So I had, we couldn't get out. It was blocked in. The trees and everything were down. The streets were blocked. You couldn't get in or out right there in that area where I was. And my neighbors either. So I decided I didn't have no heat in the house. I was sleeping in my car for 3 or 4 nights. But I got heat in the car. All I had to do is crank it up. I got a full tank of gas. Also, I had some Vienna sausage. I got a container, a plastic container, about 18 gallons. I got chips, Vienna sausage. I had 12 pack of Vienna sausage, crackers, and all this stuff. This is what I had.
She has used her civil rights organizing experience to gather her neighbors together to rebuild. She's even asking for donated roofing materials for herself and her neighbors.
Wow.
Saying that this was her experience from civil rights.
Yeah, so very resourceful.
Very.
Yeah, that's
knowing
excellent.
when and how to ask for help.
Taking care of herself. Excellent. We've got some news out of Marengo County now. In her State of the State address, Governor Kay Ivey proposed the establishment of the Alabama School of Healthcare Sciences, which will be located in Demopolis in the old Era Cap Company, which is a building directly behind Brian Whitfield Memorial Hospital. The governor says that the new healthcare high school will offer an innovative curriculum for 9th through 12th graders. It exposes them to a diversity of STEM and healthcare opportunities, as well as hands-on clinical training experiences. This is to prepare them for healthcare jobs or so they can pursue higher education in general. The hope is that this will help to address the growing healthcare worker shortage that's been predicted for the coming years. Demopolis Mayor Woody Collins says that he's been working on this since the day that he was elected, but he's not calling it a done deal yet because the legislature still has to pass it.
Right.
But he did say it was a team effort between Demopolis as a community, UAB, and the mayor's office, the governor's office. He says the governor spearheaded the whole thing. So.
Well, this is great news for Demopolis.
It is great news
these
for
other
Demopolis.
Statewide schools are in Birmingham, Mobile, Huntsville, and now Demopolis.
It is
It looks
excellent
great for them.
the Black Belt area, which
Yes.
is where the predicted health worker shortage is supposed to hit hardest.
Yes, so glad that that's coming.
Yeah, keep them at home.
Thank you for joining us for this week's edition of the Black Belt Newscast. Get more headlines at blackbeltnewsnetwork.com and follow and subscribe to us at our accounts on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok.
See you next week.
See you next week.
The Rural Health Medical Program has been a beacon in the state of Alabama for over 40 plus years. We are one of 17 community health centers across the state. We sit across 6 counties in the Black Belt region of Alabama. We provide preventative and primary health care services to all individuals, regardless of their ability to pay. For more information on how you can become a member of our team or to receive services from the Rural Health Medical Program, give us a call at 844-736-7629.